Hello there, I'm Begalius. I'm in my kitchen. If you hear creaking or anything like that, then that's because I'm hiding under the floorboards in my kitchen. I want to talk about a game right now. I mean, I spend so much time on this channel talking about how similar games are. You know, I mean, this year we've had two, for lack of a better term, clones of other games. You know, XDefiant with Call of Duty, and the first Descendant with Destiny. And I get it. You know, it's the industry right now. There's a lot of copies going on. A lot of, well, that works. You know, this will work too. It's always been the case. I mean, to be honest with you, it's always been the case. There have always been copy games, and it's just the same as it's always been. But it's rare that I get to talk about something a bit different, something that tries something new. And today, I present to you something new. And I did intend for that to rhyme. A new experience, at least in my opinion. This is the first time I played a game of this type. Now, I don't know if this is a genre, and I'm assuming it is, but this game, Neon White, is a speed running game. It's an FPS, it's first person, and you do get guns, and you start in one place, and you finish in another place, and that's how the mission structure works. You know, you get over there. There's platforming, there's like, you know, certain ways to traverse levels. We'll get into that, but yeah, it's essentially start here and go over here. It's one of those games, except it's not about getting there, it's about how quickly you do it, and you have to set the fastest time that you can. And now, like I said, there are additional things to it. So like, you have to kill every enemy in every mission, and I guess blow up every like balloon thing. It sounds super lame. Everything I'm saying sounds so lame, but it's actually really cool. So you have to destroy every enemy and like obstacle they put in your place in order to get to the end of the mission, and you want to do it within a certain time, because it's a time trial game. You get Ace, which is basically platinum, gold, silver, or bronze, and in order to advance, well, okay, so you get like blocks of, I think, about 10 missions, and there's 12 blocks, and in order to get to the next block, you have to be a certain level down. You start at 100, and you move one level down with every gold medal you get. So essentially, you're trying to get at least a gold medal on everyone, and you can't get more than one level down. Even if you get platinum, you don't get like 2 or anything like that. So essentially, you're working your way down. I think from what I remember, but this didn't really come into play more than once. I think it's 7 levels you have to go down in order to, you know, advance to the next set of levels. Oh, and peppered in that, there are 3 boss missions, which are fantastic, and I'll get into that. So, I know what you're thinking, and it's something that I was worried about, which is, oh my god, I do not want to keep doing these missions over and over again. What is this, like 15 minutes a piece? No. The beauty of this game, and what's so brilliant about this game, and I really think this shows, you know, this is the first step into showing how great, how much thought went into this game, is that the missions are actually, they range between 30 seconds and a minute, somewhere around that, maybe a minute and a half, and a couple of the missions, like there's a mission, you know, that's a little bit longer, there's like a 2-minute one, the boss missions are more like 6, you know, or I think there was even a 10-minute mission in there, but for the most part, they're between 30 seconds and a minute, so you just keep going back and back and back and back, and again, in terms of thought going into the missions, if you press the back button, I don't know what the equivalent would be on PlayStation or PC, but if you press the back button, you just start again immediately, and there's no load time, there's no waiting, you're just immediately at the back, and then you press right trigger and you start again, and that is so much more important than you may think it is. And again, it shows just how much thought went into this game. You know, it's never waste your time, and the developers definitely understand that it doesn't waste your time. So I want to talk about a couple of concerns that I had about the game in order to demonstrate further thought that went into this game, and why I just think that this is like one of the most brilliantly poured over video games, you know, like intricate video games I've ever played. So a couple of my concerns. Firstly, you don't see your weapon, and I thought that was going to be an issue. I thought, oh no, it's going to be like a friggin' House of the Dead situation, you know, and you don't see your weapon, it's going to be awful. You do not want to see your weapon in this game. It is so much better not being able to see your weapon, because it would just get in the way, it would be distracting, it would be unnecessary graphically, but most importantly, it would it was just getting in your way. You don't want to see it. The game feels so much smoother and connected, and so much more of a rush without being able to see your weapon. So that is a very good move, actually. Secondly, the cards. I was really worried about the cards. There's a card system at the bottom. Basically, the weapon you have is it's demonstrated by a color on a card at the bottom of the screen, and I thought this was going to suck. I am so glad they did this, because in terms of the weaponry, they shoot, and they shoot in different ways, but it's not really as important as the secondary ability that the weapon has. Well, in the case of most weapons. The secondary ability is what's going to get you from start to finish, and that's the most important part, like I said, of this game. You can have a shotgun, but that shotgun will zip you in the direction that you're facing if you use the secondary ability, and that's what you're going to have to use to get different places. And when you zip through enemies, it takes them out anyway, so you're very actually rarely going to be using the shotgun, so that doesn't matter. That's also another point to not being able to see a weapon. But also, I'm so glad it's the cards, because they're color coordinated, and that really helps. So it's like, oh, I've got a yellow card, that's double jump. I've got the red card, that's the ability that I was just talking about. I've got a purple card, that's the bomb thing that I can shoot on the floor and do like a grenade jump with. And it's so much better that there's this clearly defined card system that makes it easy for you to know exactly what's happening going into each situation. My third concern was the art style, the anime thing. Listen, I'm not an anime hater. One of my favorite shows of all time is Attack on Titan. I love that show to death. I think it's true. It's a masterpiece of TV. So is Vinland Saga, and I like Jujutsu Kaisen, Demon Slayer Mugen Train. Awesome movie. Absolutely love that. But this is the type that I don't really like, and I know that's subjective, but in terms of objectivity, the story I'm not really into. It's like the weird, like, skull, but also cutesy, edgy, like, back end of Twitter type of thing that I'm just not into. But, that's subjective again. But objectively speaking, the storytelling is just 2 pictures and subtitles. It's nothing special. There's no real storytelling here. It's not great, but it doesn't matter, because when the gameplay is so good, it's not as important that the story is great. And as a side point, I've seen on some reviews, people are annoyed that the reviewer didn't mention this. The soundtrack is fantastic. It's a banger of a soundtrack, and it really pops off. So yes, I mentioned it. It's a great soundtrack. Another thing I really like, and I touched on this earlier, is the boss battles. I think these are really indicative of how great and well thought out this game is. These are I may get some hate for this, these may well be the best boss battles I've ever played in a video game. I adore the boss battles here. I love them. They're so unique. I mean, it takes the formula of like go here and go from one place and then go to the end. It takes that formula, but peppers the boss in, and I can't explain to you how creatively brilliant this is. You just have to play the game. Please do, just to experience these boss battles. They're so unique in their setup. It's absolutely tremendous. I was gobsmacked by how brilliant these bosses are. I'm just very impressed by this game. This is a real hit that just came out of nowhere for me. And other than the sort of art style and story, I really don't have too much bad to say about it. So let's throw a score on. That is a very, very tenuous low 9 / incredibly high 8, but I'm going to push it over to a 9. And the reason I'm going to push it over to a 9 is because this is the first unique experience I've had in a video game for a very long time, and I'm very excited by that. I'm very impressed that they were able to do that, because I haven't played something so refreshing in a very long time. And those boss battles, that pushes me over the edge as well. It's not going to be a 10. 10 is reserved for like incredible experiences that I've had with video games. And plus, like I said, the story really isn't that great. But the gameplay is so good that the gameplay alone is what's giving this game a 9. It is fantastic, and you have to try it. It's on Game Pass. It won't take up much of your hard drive space. It's a neat 6-hour campaign. If you're good enough at it. But that's the thing, I'm no good at games with high skill curves, and I was still able to finish this game. So you will feel like a badass by the end, and you will get to grips with that, I promise you. It's a very, fun to master game. This is a fantastic video game. Absolutely tremendous. Oh, I'll see you later.
The PlayStation is only $149, and you can also get leading titles.